everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shikha and I'm a legal intern at Lexis & Company. I'm a law student from UPES Dehradun. In today's video, we will talk about moral rights of an author under section 57 of the Copyright Act. But before starting the video, there is a small disclaimer that this video does not solicit any kind of promotion or advertisement as per the guidelines of Bar Council of India, and the only purpose for which the video is made is education purpose. We will begin with the video now. Under section 14 of the Copyrights Act, there are various rights granted to the owner of the copyright which can be solely exercised by him or to the person who are authorized by the owner itself. These rights include right to reproduction, right to adaptation, right to communication to public, etc. These rights can be known as economic right because these are beneficial to the owner of the copyright in monetary terms. Aside from these economic rights, there are also moral rights under the Copyrights Act which are granted to the author of the copyright. These are the special rights of the author itself by virtue of section 57 of the Copyrights Act. There are two types of right under these moral rights. The first one is right to paternity and the second one is right to integrity. Section 57 states that these moral rights are non-transferable. So the author of the copyright solely have these rights, and even when the assignment of copyright is made in which the ownership is shifted to the person or the assignee, these rights remains with the author itself, so it cannot be transferred in any cases. Section 57 subclause 1 states that the author have right to paternity, which means right to be acknowledged as the author of the work. Section 57 subclause 2 states that there is right to integrity in the work or in the authorship. It states that the owner of the copyright can restrain others from any mutilation, distortion, etc., or any act which are prejudicial to the reputation of the owner of the to the author. And if these acts are done and there is harm upon the authorship of the author, then he can also claim for damages. There are moral rights which are granted to the author of the copyright can also be exercised by the legal representative of the author. This is also given under section 57. If there is any failure to display a work or display a work to the satisfaction to the author of the copyright, so this cannot be claimed as a right to integrity because there is no such kind of distortion or mutilation in the authorship which is prejudicial to the rights of the author. Now we will discuss the difference between economic rights and the moral rights. Economic rights are basically granted to the owner of the copyright. By virtue of section 17 of the Copyrights Act, author is the first owner of the copyright. So these economic rights may be granted to the author or the owner. But under section 57, moral right is only granted to the author of the copyright and not to the owner. This economic right can be transferable through licensing or assignment, but the moral right cannot be transferred. Even when the licensing or the assignment is made or the ownership is transferred to the assignee, these moral rights remain with the author itself. So now we will discuss two major cases in the Indian judiciary which define the scope related to the moral right of the author under section 57 of the Copyrights Act. Manu Bhandari versus Kala Motion Pictures Limited is one of the important and the first cases in India where the higher judiciary clarifies the scope of the moral right protection under the Indian copyright law. The fact of the case is that the Manu Bhandari is an Hindi language novelist. The defendant here made a movie based on her novel, and the adaptation of her novel into the movie was based upon agreement between them. Although the plaintiff agreed to the adaptation of the novel into the movie, but she was not happy with the way her novel was adapted into the movie. She feared that her image would be tarnished if this distorted version of the movie was screened or was exhibited into the theaters. So she filed an injunction suit uh, where she prayed for the stopping of the screening and exhibition of the motion picture. The court here clarifies the scope of Section 57 and states that the Section 57 of the Copyrights Act grants and special right to the author. This lifts the author's status beyond the material gain of the copyright and give it a special status. Section 57 of the copyright state for the moral right, which cannot be transferred even in the case of an agreement or assignment is made. Here, even the assignment is made, the moral right remains with the author of the work itself. The adaptation of the work should not be in such a form which is distorted or mutilated in such way that it is prejudicial to the reputation of the author or the creator of the work. The second case related to the moral right protection in India is Amarnath Sehgal versus Union of India. The first case where the moral right of the author was upheld by the Delhi High Court and the damages was awarded. In this case, plaintiff Amarnath Sehgal was an Indian artist and a sculptor who was commissioned by the Government of India in the year 1957 for making a bronze mural. The mural was made and it was kept in the it was held on the wall of the lobby of the Vigyan Bhavan. But in the year 1979, the bronze mural was pulled down and it was stored in the stored room without the authorization of Amarnath Sehgal. When he came to know about what happened to his bronze mural, he first made a representation to the government authority for restoration of his mural, but it availed no benefit. So he filed a petition under Section 57 for the restoration of his work. The court in this case held that the petition, the cost was here maintainable under Section 57 of the Copyrights Act, because it not only hampered the moral right of the plaintiff related to right to integrity, but it also have violated the integrity of work in relation to the cultural heritage of India. So the court ordered the defendant here, although the defendant was the owner of the copyright here, for returning the mural to the plaintiff and for paying the damages related to the distortion of his work. So that's it for today's video. If you have any doubt or if you have any feedback, please write it down in the comment section below. Thank you.